Hello, everyone. My name is Jing Han. I'm the director of the Institute for Australian and Chinese Arts and Culture at Western Sydney University. Firstly, I would like to acknowledge that we are on the land of the Darug people of the Darug Nation and acknowledge their ancestors having been the traditional owners of their country for thousands of years. We would also like to pay our respect to their elders, past, present, and emerging. Today, we are very pleased to have this candid quiz with artist Anney Bounpraseuth. Hello, Anney. Welcome.
Hi, Jing. How are you?
Very well, thank you. Okay, let's start with the candid quiz. The first question. What is your Chinese zodiac sign?
I was born in the year of the pig.
I see. Now I can calculate it. You are 25.
Yes, 25. Yep, that's me.
That's right. That's the Chinese way of asking how old people are. And then we can quickly do the calculation, and which you can see are good. Okay, next question. When did you decide to be an artist? A, at the moment I was born. B, when I failed my maths. C, when I could stand up for myself. D, when I realized I had a talent. E, when the other option was to be a medical doctor. And F, other, specify.
Definitely F. I didn't really decide. It just came naturally. It was always something that I loved doing. And every time I tried to do something different to be practical, I always came back to what gave me joy, which was being an artist.
Yeah, very good answer. It's more like art choose you as much as you choose art, isn't it? Yeah.
Definitely, yes.
Next question. Why did you choose to be an artist? A, to be starving. B, to become famous. C, to live an interesting life. D, to find an escape in the art world. E, I had no other option.
I think E, I had no other option. It's just something that's part of me, and that's something that I'm naturally drawn to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, next question. What was the biggest obstacle or pressure in your path of becoming an artist? A, your parents and family expectations. B, financial concerns. C, societal pressure and measure of success. D, doubt of your own talent. E, lack of support to and appreciation of young artists.
I would say A. My parents, my mum always was supportive, but she was also concerned. And I don't blame her because of her upbringing. She grew up as helping her father grow rice in the rice fields, riding a buffalo knee deep in mud. And she only started painting when she was 60 years old. And she was actually really good at it. But I remember in high school, going to university, my mum would see how stressed I was, and I'd always be doing really crazy things. Like there was one time I was making a video, an animation of Jackson Pollock style artwork. So I had melted all these different shades of chocolate, and I was like splashing melted chocolate everywhere. And I think I can understand if she was watching me and thinking, my poor girl, had like, what are you doing? Like, you have no future. So I understand. But, before she passed away, she said to me that she wanted me to be loud. She wanted me to be known for being good at something. And so while I grew up thinking she didn't support my art career, she actually really did. And she always would always drive me to drop off my wet artworks to prizes. So yeah, I know in my heart that she wanted the best for me. Yeah.
Well, that's really touching and touching story, really. And that says a lot, especially about the migrant family and, Asian family, especially. They always are concerned about the children's future and a career and, you know, the way you can make a living. So it's not surprising they have concerns like your mom had, you know, how you're going to make your living, you know, if you're just to be an artist.
True.
Yeah, and but you also said, you know, and she herself was an artist like at the age of 60. So you inherited her talent as well. And I'm sure in her heart, she knew that where you should be going, you know, you had that talent. Yeah, that's really good story and a good answer. Next question. What is the most common response from people when you tell them you're an artist? A, really? B, that's very nice. C, lucky you. D, can you make a living by creating art? E, so you're your own boss.
So D, I do get a lot of people asking how I make money. But also, I think people also genuinely interested, and they want to know what kind of art you make. And when you show them your art, it's a really great way to get to know each other. And people usually are very positive about it. I did have one experience where a guy, I think he was just trying to be cheeky, but he said that, he goes, "Oh, I'm an artist too. I'm a BS artist." So, yeah. I think some of it is from ourselves, the negative, you know, negativities.
Yeah.
Sometimes from ourselves, but
Yeah.
generally people are very positive and wanting to know more because they think it's really interesting.
It is. Yeah, it is. That is a very good, you know, response. Yeah, and as you say, you know, people generally are actually very positive. Next question, and that is related. Who are your loyal supporters? A, your family. B, fellow artists. C, art lovers. D, gallery owners. E, none of the above.
I would say A and B.
Your family and fellow artists?
Yes, my family were supportive in their own way. And I think also even when there are times when your family aren't supportive, that because you're an artist, you're usually a bit rebellious. So you have something to push back on, you know? So they're supporting you in that way. And also my sister, she's a really big influence in my life as well. She's a really great artist, and she's always been supportive. And I think fellow artists too. I think it's important to choose who you hang around with. So I choose to be around artists who view art as fun. So sometimes we can get caught up in trying to make money and trying to get ahead, but we have to remember, like when we were children, we loved art because it was fun and it made us happy. And that's a lot of my friends that I choose to hang around with, they feel the same way. And it's really important to have people who are like-minded around you and, you know, not competitive, really supportive and kind of like a cheer squad cheering you on.
Yeah.
People aren't supportive, then because you're a rebellious artist, that should make you want to push yourself even further.
Well said, well said. Yes, indeed. So the next question, who has had the biggest influence in your life?
It's definitely my mother. My mother was the person who introduced me to creativity. So I grew up in Southwest Sydney, and at the time, let's say it wasn't very artistic and cultural or seen that way. But my introduction to creativity was through my mother, through her cooking, her gardening, her singing, her dancing, and the way she decorated her house and the way she dressed. So her patterns would never match, and they were really quite gaudy and tacky. And she'd buy things from the $2 shop that were, you know, pretend antiques. And yeah, she's definitely influenced me in that way. I think she taught me not to care about what other people think too much and just be yourself. and be yourself, really amplify yourself, like be yourself times 100 plus 1 times infinity, you know. And
yeah, it's just so good, you know, like it's very good to have a parent who's just so understanding and so supportive, and they give you the strength and you know, so direction and advice. Yeah, it's really good, and lucky you in that sense.
Yeah, I actually didn't visit an art gallery until I was in year 11. So besides my mother, I also had really supportive art teachers. So I had Miss Coleman. I'm still friends with my high school art teacher. And also when I went to TAFE, I had a teacher named Lorna Greer who encouraged me to study at university. So I think, yeah, for me, it's mainly been women, and women who are teachers and nurturers that have been the biggest influence in my life. Yeah.
Well, you are not the only one who has listed their high school teachers as their, you know, influence, and which you that gives a lot of credit to school teachers. And these days, school teachers are not highly valued in terms of, you know, pay or recognition. So it's a great opportunity to tell the teachers, no, they had a great influence on, you know, young artists like you and many other people. So it's a great acknowledgement. Next question, name one artist who you admire the most and tell us why.
My favorite artist, there's so many, mainly women, but my main favorite artist is an artist named Aloise Corbaz, and she's considered an outsider artist. So she had fallen in love with somebody when she was younger, and I think she would create these long scrolls of drawings of opera singers making love in the sky. And she wouldn't speak, and people would give her crayons and she'd wear them down to the stubs. And I just love her artwork. It's so romantic. It's when I think of her artwork, I think of love.
Well, when you listening to you saying this, and I sort of can see her influence in your artwork, you know, so in your style.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's so beautiful.
Thank you.
Next question is a bit tricky. Which artist do you find the most inspiring in Australia? A, Guan Wei. B, Guan Wei. C, Guan Wei. D, Guan Wei. And E, other, please name.
Well, I guess I have no choice but to say Guan Wei.
Well, good.
I think he's a great artist. I think when I was asked to be a part of the show, and knowing that he was the curator, it really meant a lot to me, because he's very successful at what he does, particularly, like, you know, being from a migrant background and seeing his works in exhibitions everywhere in Sydney, and then, you know, inviting him over to my home for tea and croissants. That was really wonderful. Yeah,
I agree. You know, he is I myself see him as a great inspiration, you know, for the whole generation of artists, especially migrants and, you know, from Asian background. And his success is really a great inspiration and encouragement to everyone who wants to be an artist. Yeah, it's great.
And also his work is instantly recognizable.
Yes.
I think a lot of artists would that's one of their dreams, is to, you know, people will look at your work and recognize that it's your signature.
That's right. So I think that's why it's quite inspiring to say, oh, okay, yeah. Well said. And next question, on average, how long does it take you to create an artwork? A week, B, a month, C, half a year, D, a year, E, other, please specify.
E, other. So it just depends on what's happening in my life and the mood I'm in. the work behind me took me, I was having a bit of a breakdown. It took me 2 weeks to paint. I was crying the whole time. I wasn't sleeping. The artwork that I did for my HSC that got into Art Express, that took me a week. So before it was due, I'd been procrastinating the whole time. I think it has a lot to do with something called flow, which I've read about. The person who studied that, Dr. Mihai Csikszentmihalyi, passed away recently, and he studied flow. And sometimes that's a very common thing for artists and musicians, where you have to sort of catch the inspiration when it comes and then go with it. But there are times where if I'm feeling sad, I can't paint, or vice versa.
Yeah, well, so we're going to ask a related question after this one. Yes, you said it all. Next question is, which colors do you use most often and why?
Well, as you can tell, I love red. Red is a color, I think, that symbolizes so many things, so many intense emotions. I think if I went blind and I was able to see again, red would just be the color that wants the most attention from me. But I also love coral pink, which is a variation of red. It's kind of like a peach. I like, yeah, it's my spirit fruit, I guess.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, this is quite telling.
Yeah.
Okay, this is related to artist block. So what do you do when you experience an artist block? A, have a few drinks. B, take a break or read a book. C, start another project. D, simply wait till inspiration comes back. E, none of the above. Please specify.
Well, for me, I have a strategy of writing to-do lists, and I tick them off one by one. Generally, if I can't make work, I'll clean the house. So if my house is clean, it means that I'm struggling to make work. It's the same when you had an assignment in high school. Everything is clean. Like, the house never has looked cleaner before, except your assignment hasn't been done. Yeah, I find it's like clearing mental space.
Yes.
So, or even just shuffling furniture around.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, that's a very good strategy. And each one has their own strategy. It's interesting when you say you're clean, you want really clean. Me, it's the opposite. Everything is so clean, and then I stop thinking. So I like this messy environment, so that I can feel like, I can be messy, so I can start thinking now. Yes.
Oh, by the way, I think there's a storm coming. Should I turn the lights on? My room is quite dark at the moment.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Okay. I'll be right back. Is that a bit better?
Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely. Because otherwise it's getting darker and darker. Yeah. Okay. All right, let's restart at this point.
Okay.
Next question. Do you have a recurrent theme? A, if yes, what is it? B, if not, why not?
Yes, I definitely have a recurrent theme in my work. At the moment, I am looking at reinterpreting biblical paradise and shifting that representation into the present as a form of post-traumatic growth from religious trauma. So that's to do with my upbringing, and I grew up in a very strict, high control faith for 30 years, and I left 8 years ago. And so my work is really focused on, what a meaningful life can look like in art without God and religion, which is, it's been really challenging, but it's using the symbolism of the Garden of Eden and Paradise has been really helpful. Yeah.
Yeah, that's really amazing. So, religion can be seen from different lenses, and then, from your artistic lenses and with your specific experiences, and come out with the works that are yours. So yeah, it's that's the magic of art. Next question, which of the following scenario would annoy you? A, people misunderstand your artwork. B, your artwork is hung upside down by mistake. C, some viewers are critical of your works. D, someone you barely know asks you to draw a picture as a free gift.
Yes, well, I think they're all annoying, but also upsetting.
Which one is the most?
I think when I haven't had anyone ask me to do anything for free, I think I've learned over time to stand up for myself as an artist, which I'm really proud of. But I think the most upsetting thing for me would be if I saw my artwork in an op shop or on eBay. So I don't do commission work anymore for individuals. I prefer to make work for the community, and that I hire out to the community. But they always come back to me because they're my babies. So yeah.
Yes. Yes, that's a very good answer. Yes, they are like your babies. So true. What is the next question is, what is the constant challenge you face in your creative process? A, fear of a failure. B, lack of financial support. C, too much fun. D, not enough time. E, constant disruptions.
Oh, it would be B, D, and E.
So B is lack of a financial support.
Yep. There's a lot of unpaid work with unpaid work with any job that involves giving of yourself. I feel like nurses, teachers, artists. And D, not enough time because you're trying to make money to support yourself. And E, constant disruptions because you're working to support yourself. Yeah, so
good answer.
Yeah, it can be very difficult to time is so valuable to an artist because you need to think and you need time to sort of get yourself into the flow of things.
Yeah, it is. Time is precious indeed.
Yeah.
Next question, what matters to you? A, to be true to yourself. B, to be successful. C, to make a difference. D, to be happy. E, all of the above. F, none of the above. Please specify.
I think so being true to yourself, making a difference, being happy is very important to me. I think with success, it's different for everybody. So especially if you're an artist. So for some people, being successful could be, not living with your parents in your later years. It could be, having your own studio. It's different for everyone. So it's not number one thing for me, but always being true to yourself is the most important thing, and being happy and making a difference. I think, you've hit the nail on those heads.
Yes. Very good. Next question, who do you think you are? A, determined. B, interesting. C, idealistic. D, focused. E, easygoing. F, other. Please specify.
Okay. I'm definitely determined. I would say interesting, idealistic, focused, easygoing. So that's Oh, I wouldn't say, I think I'm not, out of all of those things, I'm not always focused because I'm just juggling lots of things and very easily distracted. And so everything except focused is
Good, very good one. Good choice. Next one, who is your favorite prime minister or politician in Australia? Just note, none is acceptable.
I think Jacinda Ardern is a wonderful prime minister. And yeah, I really admire and respect her. And apparently she used to be a DJ. So I love music, and I just think she's a model for future female prime ministers. Yeah.
Okay, next question. What is your poison, meaning favorite beverage? A, tea. B, coffee. C, whiskey or vodka. D, tap water. E, Milo. F, wine. And G, milk bubble tea.
To be honest, my favorite beverage is hot water. There's no tea in it. I do love tea though, but yeah, it's something a lot of older Lao women drink, is hot water by itself.
Yes, I'm not surprised. Many Chinese drink hot tea, hot water. Yes,
Yeah.
it's many places now these days they provide, they specify hot water is available.
Yeah, it's just very cleansing, and it's more about the warmth that it gives your chest inside. I like that feeling. It's like a hug.
Anney?
A little fireplace inside your soul.
Yes. You are very special. You picked the things that I didn't list in my questions.
Yeah.
Good one. It's actually a very good one. Okay, next question. I hope I can catch you. What did you listen to when you're working on your art during the lockdowns? A, classic music or jazz. B, Chinese traditional music like erhu or pipa. C, heavy metal. D, top chart pop music. E, industrial noise in the neighborhood. F, nagging from household members. G, last one, silence.
Well, I love listening to music by Black artists, and Prince is my #1 favorite artist of all time. I love him so much. And I also love listening to funk and disco. But I listen to everything. But yeah, Prince is my favorite.
Well, he's one of my favorite too. You know, he's such a genius. It's incredible. And then the talent he has, just, yeah, enormous. Yeah, a good one. Next one, if you were a multi-billionaire, what would be your preferred mode of transport? A private jet. B, bright red Mercedes with 888 next to your initials in the register plate. C, latest electric scooter. D, public transport. E, mountain bike. F, last one, walk to get your 10,000 steps in.
Well, I would, if I had that much money, I would want a pair of Dorothy slippers, like red glittery ones, and I could just click my heels and go wherever I wanted. So mine isn't based on reality. But it was
Anney, you beat me again, you know, not on my list, but it's a very good one. Very good one. Yes. And so you know, I can definitely say that. Yeah, it's really good. Very good choice. Okay, last question, and that's actually back to you. So COVID permitting, where would be your dream destination of a travel and why?
You know, I have so many places I want to go, especially being in lockdown for so long, and then not being able to travel. I would love to go to Lake Como in Italy because I've seen it in a lot of movies, and I'd love to go to the Sound of Music where it was filmed. I think in Austria, because I kind of feel like I ran away from the convent like Fräulein Maria, and I can relate. But also I'd love to go to Dollywood because I love Dolly Parton, and I think she's like the best artist, like most badass artist to have her own theme park. And yeah, I'd love to go to Dollywood.
Well, thank you so much, Annie. And these are great answers, and I enjoyed this candid quiz with you so much, so we learned a lot about you. It's great. Thank you so much for being so candid with us. Thank you, Annie.
Thank you. That was a fun interview. I've never had that much fun in an interview.
Thank you. Thank you.